Creatures of the night, it's your girl Tati. Let's talk about AEW Dynamite. We start off with Jon Moxley going against Speedball Mike Bailey. Apparently earlier in the day, Jon Moxley had a challenge for anybody who wanted to face him and get their ass whooped. And Speedball was like, I'm not doing anything. I don't mind getting ass whooping on TV. And he has a pretty good match with Jon Moxley. We do have Wheeler Yuta, Marina, who are ringside. Claudio, I don't know where you've been, baby, but we miss you. We love you. Impact, we do love you as well. We miss you. And here comes Kevin Knight, who comes out there just to even things up a little bit, since he doesn't feel like Marina will do anything. He literally have a stare off with Marina, but he's not going to put his hands on a lady. And I like how when he's staring at Marina, Jon Moxley in the background is smiling, and we typically don't see that because he knows you're not going to do anything to Marina Shafir. Now, while this match is going on, heinously, Darby Allin kidnaps Wheeler Yuta. I don't know what's going on, but he's out of the shot. Jon Moxley has to continue his match, and with no problem, greatest of ease, Jon Moxley takes the win over Speedball Mike Bailey, which we expected. Speedball, you're going to have to come a little bit harder next time. Jon Moxley, Marina, they're obviously worried about Wheeler Yuta like the rest of us, so they go through the crowd and go outside to find our boy. Now after this, we do have Toni Storm and Alex Windsor backstage, and they're letting everyone know that they're not in a sexual relationship. This is completely platonic, and they end up tangoing off together in the moonlight. I don't know, whatever you want to call it. Then after this, we find out what happened to our Wheeler Yuta. Unfortunately, Darby Allin has put him in a body bag, a literal body bag, and Marina goes over there to help get him out while Jon Moxley kind of chases the truck that Darby's in. Darby ends up leaving because he's a sore loser and doesn't want to get his ass whooped. And Marina unzips the body bag, and on Wheeler Yuta's forehead is a paper that says Forbidden Door taped onto it. And for whatever reason, I was just like, oh, he wants to go against Wheeler Yuta. I know it's being silly at that moment, but obviously this is for him to go against Moxley. Once again, we are going the route of not having a match where it's Forbidden Door related. But since we got a story going on, I guess this is what we're going to get for the pay-per-view. Haven't yet made that official. Before we have our four-way for the AEW TBS Championship qualifying match, winner of this match will go against our TBS champion, CEO, and a wrestler from CMLL and another wrestler from Stardom. So CEO comes in a lovely limo, has all her titles with her. She's eating a piece of watermelon, which doesn't look good for the stereotypes. And she ends up taking a bite and throwing it on the pavement. I don't know what that was about. And she makes her way into the building. Now, we have Alex Windsor going against Queen Amnata, going against Sky Blue, going against Billy Starks. I already knew Billy Starks was not winning. And for me, I'm just like, Queen Amnata, sure. I'm pretty sure she might have had an opportunity to go for the TBS title. I'm not 100% sure. Not that I can remember right now. But based off of the girls being in the company, for me, personally for me, I was like, Queen Amnata, I would love for her to have an opportunity to go for the title. However, it completely slipped my mind until someone mentioned on the live stream that Alex is from London. Why did I not even think of that the entire time? CEO obviously must be watching from backstage, but we have Toni Storm and Athena who comes out to watch the girls. It was really interesting, and I will say this, and I hate having to say this, especially about women's wrestling. Sky Blue, I don't know what happened today. Just an off night or something, but she was off. There was something that she was supposed to be doing. I think maybe a cold blue onto on Queen Amnata onto a chair, something of that effect. It didn't work because she wasn't able to get onto the back of Queen Amnata. And this is something that she tried to do in the ring as well 3 minutes prior. She tries this again and it doesn't work out. And she throws herself onto the chair to hit her own self to make it look like Queen Amnata did it. But all of that looks like it didn't look good at all. I don't know what happened. I really do like Sky Blue, but that right there was just messy as hell. We gotta get it together. Unfortunately, Queen Aminata does not take the win. Alex Windsor gets the win. Now, after this, you would think that there would be shenanigans with CEO coming out there with all her belts, taking her time, but Aubrey Edwards is struggling to hold all these titles all at once. And it wasn't even all of them. And, she's holding a TBS title in front of Alex, like, letting her know, like, bitch, I'm the champion. You're not going to beat me. You got your little opportunity to go against me and the other girls, but you still won't win. Toni Storm comes in, creeping in, and that's when Athena is creeping in too. She goes onto the top rope, and when Toni turns around, gives Toni an O-face. Now, what was interesting was Athena and CEO were in the ring at the same time, looking at each other and let each other go with no problem. They're not necessarily, you know what? I was going to say they're not necessarily friends. I didn't take that. But after the show, I saw that they posted a video. I guess they made a TikTok video together, Athena and CEO. Kayfabe is dead, all the way dead. Whatever the situation is, Alex Windsor wins her opportunity, and I can't wait to see who will qualify for CMLL and Stardom. Now, we do have the young fucks who are angry about how they've been introduced and treated like jobbers, and they end up giving production a little cue card to say, hey, give this to Justin Roberts and make sure he reads it. And they go on to take the card over to Justin Roberts. But before we get the Young Bucks in action, we have Kaya Fletcher, the Don Callas family, all coming out there. Well, almost all of them. Coming out there, and there's like a huge painting. This is, and I'm gonna say I was disappointed that the straps of the title was not pink. I actually was expecting this, and I was just like, I didn't even know we was doing a little celebration thing for Kaya Fletcher tonight. I thought it was gonna be on Collision, but okay, fine. No pink title. He wore the pink sunglasses again from Shein, but that's okay. And we're celebrating. Apparently the crowd is cursing and yelling at them and pretty much won't even let them talk, which is just criminal. Cleveland, we will not be coming back over there. And there's this big painting that is covered in the middle of the ring. I know Don Callis and paintings. And after it seemed like Don Callis and Kyle Fletcher was like having some sexual chemistry going on in the ring, don't ask me, I don't know what the fuck was going on between them two. Then he goes and unveiled the painting, and it's a painting of Kyle Fletcher, who is naked but with the TNT title over his dick. And then we have Uncle Don, who has like an 8-pack wearing like a see-through type of tank top or some shit. And I was like, this is gay as fuck. All this is gay as fuck, but whatever. It works. This is on brand for Uncle Don because he's done this a million times. And Kyle Fletcher is like, hey, look, on Saturday, I'm already ready for work. Whoever it is that want to come and have a match with me on Saturday on Collision for the TNT title, bring it on. They do end up announcing later on in the night that that person is Ishii. After this, we have Adam Copeland back there with Renee Paquette. Renee is just like, did you see what happened with our stepdaddy? Like, what's going on? Like, why don't you come out to help him? Like, what's going on with Christian at this point? Uncle Adam don't know a damn thing because apparently he's not watching the show and probably don't care. But he's here to let everyone know that he's going to be having a match on next week, Dynamite. And it's against, let me see, who could it possibly be? Because since he can't be anywhere near FTR, the only person that wouldn't be an issue with is Stokely Hathaway. Stokely Hathaway, we're prying. It's not looking good at all. So now after this, we have Brodito going against Max and Jeremy Buck. That's their Generation Me name from back when there was in TNA. They do actually get their music at first, but then the thing that with the roll-up screen that's supposed to have doesn't work. Justin Roberts is literally reading exactly what they told him to read on the paper, but they never told him to read that shit out loud, so it sounds fucking ridiculous. They come on out there and they have a really amazing tag match with Brodito. And let me just say, like, they had no business stressing us out like this on a Wednesday night. We have enough things to deal with in real life. And I thought this was absolutely amazing. Now, some people did complain about this match being way too long. I don't know how much it went. I think there was like 2 commercial breaks between the show, like literally in the middle of the show. But regardless, y'all know I don't really care for the Young Bucks like that, but they always turn it out. And I know everyone was just like, it would be cool for Brodito to win, but it's going to be the Young Bucks as always. We're going to get Young Bucks and FTR to be going against each other to qualify and the finals to go against Hurt Syndicate at Forbidden Door. And after so many near falls between both teams, somehow, some way, I don't know how the fuck it happened, but Brodito wins. I know nobody was expecting this. I was shocked as hell. Everybody was just like, what? What? Because it seemed like they were going to go with what they know, which is FTR, Young Bucks, these guys always being in a title scene. Now, as shocking as that is, I'm guessing this is supposed to be a demonstration or like the beginning somewhat in a way to show like the downfall of the Young Bucks, because obviously things haven't been going great for them since they've been EVPs. I don't know where it's going to go long term, but I'm actually surprised. And for once, they did something that was unpredictable, which was have another team win. Now, Brodito, they're not beating FTR. Like, there's just no way. However, they actually gave a chance to another team to be able to move forward to get slightly closer to gold. Now, after this, FTR is trying their best to, I guess, not necessarily make excuses for Stokely, but they're just like, hey, we can't go against you. We can't do anything about it. But Stokely, he can handle his own. Stokely's standing back there with crutches, okay? So he's not looking good. And he goes on to say, I'm short, I'm bald, and I get no holes. And I was like, you have got to be kidding me. Anyway, all those things are true. But he thinks he's going to be able to take care of Uncle Adam. I don't know where that's going to go, but I know we're going to have a really great laugh when it comes to Stokely versus Adam. And maybe somehow FTR is going to interfere in some way or have someone help Stokely, because Stokely is going to need all the help he can get. Now, after this, we get a video package hyping up Okada versus Swerve for Forbidden Door. Swerve does grace us with his presence, even though he was wearing a shirt and a jacket, but we can't all get what we want in life. And basically just letting everyone know that he's going to beat Okada at Forbidden Door. Lovely, whatever. Glad to see you in the house, Swerve. Now, we hear from Mark Briscoe, who's doing a promo backstage, and I didn't really realize this, but I guess Mark Briscoe has won a series of matches, and if he were to win the match with MJF, that would make him, I guess, like the closest person in terms of wins to be able to go against Hangman for the title. And Hangman's just like, hey, I know you're going to go out there, you're going to kill it. And if you win this, I will be glad to give you an opportunity to go for the AEW World title. And you know what? We would all be happy for him. Now, I don't remember exactly when this happened, but it slipped my mind for a moment. But MJF actually does go backstage to talk to the Hurt Syndicate. The Hurt Syndicate, they were already doing their little interview, but by the time that MJF walked in, Shelton and Bobby, they just dipped because they didn't have nothing to do with it. But MVP stayed there and said that, whatever's going on is done between us. We're no longer a group because you made everything about you. And I am still like trying to wrap my head around, like, did you not know who this man is? You said you care for him like he's your little brother. So what you're telling me is that you didn't know who your little brother was before you let him in the group. Something about it just feel kind of forced to me. I don't like it. But anyway, he gives him the thumbs down in terms of him working with MJF just one-on-one because MJF want them to still work with each other. And he says no. And he goes and says, we still watching. You're going to end up doing your thing. You're going to get yourself the Triple B. And when you do, just know that Bobby is going to be waiting to get his hands on you and that title. So it's not looking good for MJF either way. I still wish a lot more went into this because I feel like there was so much more of an effort to get him in the group. And just like out of the very slightest convenience, they let him out. And something about it still feel rushed and doesn't feel so organic to me. I wish more went into them not working with MJF anymore. Main event, we have our scumbag MJF, our new CMLL lightweight champion. Lovely. Going against Pastor Briscoe. Pastor Briscoe is ready for whatever and puts on a great show with MJF. And honestly, I kind of wish that they saved them one-on-one for a pay-per-view. But we'll talk a little bit more about that in a moment. They have really great chemistry with each other. MJF is always willing to go the extra mile. And y'all already know Mark Briscoe is always going the extra mile. He does end up, I think, busting his lip or maybe his tongue or something. And he's bleeding, Mark Briscoe. And I didn't think that MJF would lose this at all. I think that Mark Briscoe, despite him being a fan favorite, everybody loves him, and them mentioning that that Hangman could possibly give him a title shot, I still feel like the story here really is MJF and Hangman. So regardless of what happened, this is what the true story is, which is them two. Now, even with them having a great match, after MJF hits him with a heat seeker, which I feel like I haven't seen in a long time, he covers Mark Briscoe. Mark Briscoe actually puts his foot on the rope, and Bryce Rinsberg does everything in his power to pretend he don't see it. I hate this shit. When I tell you referees are horrible actors, they really are. It felt so forced when they, this one particular, but most of the times that they do this, it feels forced. The referee don't know where to fucking count at to be able to look at their surroundings. Like, who's going to believe that? And counts to 3 while Mark leg was on the rope the whole time. MJF ends up taking the win, which should have happened anyway, fair and square. And even after the match, MJF still attacks Mark Briscoe with the Dynamite ring. And Hangman comes on out, Captain Saberho, to help Mark Briscoe. And he's fighting with MJF. And when they pan the camera to Mark Briscoe in the corner bloodied up. And I was just like, the ring couldn't have done this, baby. Like, you are selling this like way too much blood for a punch to the forehead with a ring. He was just drenched in blood, which was absolutely crazy. Used to security guards and referees come on out there. The show ended up going, I think, 12 or maybe a few more minutes after, so the overtime money came through. However, none of that shit that happened actually felt like something you should go over the time for. You know, the match itself was great, and I didn't mind that going over. But the whole thing with MJF and Hangman, nothing about it felt strong enough to go over that time. I don't know what it was. I wish there was a little bit more. And honestly, I wish they didn't do the whole thing with Mark Briscoe's leg being on the rope. But that leaves the door open for them to possibly have another match, which I'm hoping will not be at Forbidden Door. I'm hoping to see MJF put the CMLL title on the line, preferably against Mystico or somebody else. I don't know. He's still got a storyline going on with Mystico in CMLL, so maybe that's the route they're going to go with. I'm not 100% sure, because he does have a match this Friday with, damn, I forgot who he was going against. I forgot his name, whatever his name is, but whatever. There's a friend of Mystico. I'm pretty sure he's going to beat that friend. Why can't I remember his name? Whatever. He's going to beat him. MJF's going to beat him. Mystico's obviously going to be upset, whatever situation is, and I think it's going to open the door more to the Forbidden Door situation, which will be great, and I'm cool with. Overall, this was a great night for Dynamite. There was a couple of things I didn't like, but them doing the one thing that we thought wasn't going to happen, which was the Bucks not losing, they actually had another team win, and that's what I like. I like unpredictability, and I feel like that's something that's just like missing in pro wrestling. Everything feels like you can book it in your sleep, and I personally don't like feeling like that. If you didn't see Dynamite, go ahead and check it out. The clips on the show are already on YouTube, or if you got Max, go ahead and watch the replay. I'll see you guys for Ring of Honor tomorrow.